A terrible prognosis. Richard Engel joining me now from Kyiv. Also with us, former Deputy Commander of U.S. European Command, retired Lieutenant General Steph Twitty. Welcome both. Richard, terrific interview. It's your 5th interview with Zelensky, and this comes at the most difficult time. You just came back from a tour of front lines. You were in the East, and you told him what you saw, that these soldiers are out of ammo. They can't fight back. You said, and Zelensky told you that 31,000 soldiers have been killed in the war. That's the first time they've acknowledged that. How optimistic is he about victory over Russia?
So he described this year as a pivotal year, as a turning point moment, and that can be seen as either optimistic or pessimistic. But if you feel that things are going to come to a head one way or another this year, it means he certainly sees this country moving into historic, unprecedented times. He fully believes in victory and described to me what losing would look like. And when I'm walking around this city 2 years after the war, you see a city that is very alive. President Zelensky was quite upbeat when I met him. And when walking around the streets here, people are generally upbeat. Even out on the front, the soldiers were not demoralized or discouraged. And I didn't find President Zelensky to express that tone, which we're not seeing here. It was just a sort of an explanation of simple mathematics. We need these weapons. Without the weapons, more Ukrainian soldiers are going to die, because without the weapons, the alternative is sending Ukrainians closer into battle, sending them into the meat grinder of the Russian front line right now, sending them to effectively try and charge trenches, which hasn't been an effective strategy since, wasn't effective in World War I, wasn't effective in World War II, and is costing Ukraine a lot of troops right now. So that's why they're saying the only way out of this is to get longer range weapons.
You know, General Twitty, there was a G7 call on Saturday on the anniversary of the war, and in David Cameron, the Foreign Secretary, former Prime Minister from the UK, in particular, talking about the slow supply chain and how, I mean, actually, Europe has gotten weapons to Ukraine a lot faster than America has and is better on their promises. The U.S. is finally promising long-range missiles, but Zelensky said to Vice President Harris when I was in Munich, they still haven't gotten the F-16s they were promised. It takes so long between the promise and the delivery. And right now, that lag time is critical.
Yeah, I agree with you, Andrea. Much of it has to do with our military-industrial base did not prepare for this war, particularly for this war to now be in its second year, going on the third year now. And so our military-industrial base here in the States is lacking in terms of being prepared to support and sustain this war for the long term. That's one reason. The second reason is, as you know, we're in this ambiguous period now on whether or not funding, the $60 billion, will be voted on by the House and approved. And so you have a military-industrial base and, quite frankly, our U.S. military, they're in a stalled situation in trying to figure out when and whether or not it will be approved to further move ammunition and other supplies over to Europe to be able to support this war. And so we're pretty much in a holding pattern at this point, Andrew.
And Richard, let's talk about Jake Sullivan and what he had to say on Meet the Press to Kristen Welker, because this aid package could be as much as a month off, because the most immediate issue on the congressional agenda now is going to be the stopgap aid to stop the government from shutting down partially next Saturday. Listen to what Sullivan had to say on Meet the Press.
Of course, Ukraine can win, but it can only do so if it has the tools that it needs. And that is why the United States needs to deliver the aid package that passed on a massive bipartisan vote in the Senate. The House needs to step up and pass that bill.
According to all of our reporting off the Hill, that passage, if it were to happen, if they could get it on the floor, if they can get past the Speaker's objections, could be as long as a month off. What does that mean for Ukraine?
There are consequences. There are consequences. Every day means the battle is tougher. As you mentioned earlier, I just got back from the front lines in the east and in the south, and troops there are rationing ammunition. They don't have enough to go on the attack, so that means that they're just trying to hold the line. So in practical terms, that means either sitting in a house, in a bunker, in a some sort of command post, hidden with drones up above, trying to find Russian targets and trying not to be hit. While the Russians are firing 7 times as much as you are, you're waiting there, explosions around you, trying to pick your shot. It almost goes back to the U.S. Revolutionary War days when they say don't shoot until you see the whites in their eyes. That's the situation they're facing right now on the Ukrainian front lines. They can only shoot if they have a pretty much confirmed target. They see the Russians, they have them in their sights, they see them on a drone, then take the shot. Because if they miss it, that is one fewer round that they have to defend themselves and to defend that position. So if it takes another month to arrive, President Zelensky said right now the Russians are taking advantage of this shortage by launching their own offensive, which he expects is going to intensify over the next 2 months. So when you factor in the lag time and the Russians pushing on the shortages here, it could be a very difficult time indeed for those troops in the trenches and on those bunkers in the front lines.